This is the MHS Podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS. I'm Eddie Kalegi. Our second year on the airwaves opens up here at the Metuchen High School Mud Run, the second annual charity event run by the MHS Proving Ground. Not only do various participants face a lot of mud and a huge obstacle course filled with tough events, causing them to have to use teamwork, leadership, and good team morale, but also this is for a special cause benefiting the Marissa Tafaro Foundation, which benefits children in need, with all proceeds going that way. We'll talk to the head of that organization, Greg Tafaro, who's also a writer for the Home News Tribune, and Principal Bruce Paragallo, followed by the slideshow with lots of pictures and videos from today, and we'll talk to various participants. But we'll open up with that interview with Greg Tafaro of the Marissa Tafaro Foundation.
The MHS Mud Run isn't solely about team building, there's also a special cause. At the head of that, it's a pleasure to be joined by Home News Tribune high school sports journalist and co-founder of the Marissa Tafaro Foundation, Greg Tafaro. Welcome to the show.
Eddie, nice to be here.
So briefly, we have to start. Tell us about the brave fight your daughter Marissa Tafaro fought.
Well, Eddie, Marissa was born with a complex cardiac defect called hypoplastic left heart syndrome, which essentially means she was born with just one ventricle. As a result, she underwent 6 open heart surgeries and developed 2 life-threatening complications that necessitated a heart transplant. The heart transplant was successful, but unfortunately, she contracted transplant cancer and claimed her life at the age of 13.
Well, you explained last night in the meeting that there's a deep correlation between Marissa's doctors and the Mud Run itself. Could you tell us about why and what makes the Mud Run a life metaphor, as you said?
Yeah, I mean, the obstacle course itself, Eddie, really is a life metaphor because all the student athletes here that are competing, they're going to face challenges in their lives and obstacles that they're going to have to overcome, and they can't deal with that and handle those obstacles alone, right, in life, so they're going to have to rely on their friends, their family, relatives, and in this instance today with the Mud Run, their teammates.
So why does MHS have a special place in your heart?
Well, both my parents graduated from Metuchen High School, my mother Marie in 1957 and my father Joseph in 1958. I've covered high school athletics in Middlesex County for 30 years, and Metuchen's special to me because of the way the student athletes have conducted themselves over the year, Eddie. I've always found that young men and women here at the high school to be absolute ladies and gentlemen on and off the field, and the sportsmanship component is important to me as a sports writer. I just don't want to cover outstanding student athletes. I want to make sure that they represent their high school well on and off the field, and that's always been my experience here at Metuchen. And Metuchen, since the inception of our foundation on July 30th, 2017, has also been an outstanding supporter of the Marissa Tafaro Foundation. So for those reasons, Eddie, it's a real special place.
Now you just brought up the Tafaro Foundation. So what has the foundation accomplished so far? What is to come, and how can people get involved?
Well, we've really been blessed with the support of Middlesex County in its entirety through the Greater Middlesex Conference. Again, having been a sports writer for 30 years, I've been privileged to cover student athletes from more than 30 high schools across the county. And through the financial support, volunteerisms, charity events like this one today, the Metuchen Mud Run, where our foundation's a beneficiary, we've been able to raise a significant amount of money. As such, we've been able to donate all of those funds directly to help children in need throughout the Greater Middlesex County area. Those are largely pediatric patients or children who may require financial assistance and their families. So we've donated nearly $50,000 in just 1 year. And again, we're so blessed as parents, my wife Cindy and I, as leaders of the foundation, the tax-exempt nonprofit, to be in a position to help so many children. And that's through the benevolence of folks like everyone here today at Metuchen.
Now, how can you contact you guys for someone to get involved with the
Probably the easiest way is, we have a website, the Marissa Tafaro Foundation. That's marissatafarofoundation.org. We also are on Twitter and Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at FoundationMT, and you can follow us on Facebook, the Marissa Tafaro Foundation.
All right, Greg Tafaro, thank you for joining us here on the MHS Podcast.
Appreciate it, Eddie, and best wishes to you this academic year.
Continuing here on the MHS Podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School, I'm Eddie Kalegi. It's great to be joined by MHS Principal Bruce Paragallo. Welcome to the show.
Good to be here. Thank you.
So I want to ask you, this is the second second mud run ever. How did the idea come last year? Who came up with it, and how did the mud run come to be?
It was kind of kind of grew out of our physical education department with Mr. Cathcart, and we wanted to do some things that were challenging, to add some different things maybe into our curriculum that kind of talked about leadership, developing leadership skills, and working with all of our students, not just maybe necessarily the athletes, but kind of giving challenges to all of every student that walks into the gymnasium. So kind of they started to do some things through their curriculum in physical education class, and then what happened is that this just became an outgrowth of some of those challenge events.
So what are some of the main goals? Because there are goals curriculum-based, obviously, for the cause of the mud run, and also just about teamwork and leadership. So how do all these goals come together in the mud run?
Well, it's something that I think we face challenges every day, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's on an athletic field, whether it's in a gymnasium, and I think that the mud run kind of encapsulates all of those different challenges. And I think the most important part is teamwork. The fact that our students have to work together, they have to communicate, they've got to listen to each other to get through and over these obstacles. And it's the same thing in class, the same thing in the workplace, the same thing in the military. So all of those things come into play, and it is a big part of a lot of our curriculum and a lot of what we try to do in not only physical education class, but certainly in other classes as well.
Now, you mentioned this originated in the physical education program, and you talked about last night with Mr. Cathcart how you've never met someone who is so dedicated to each and every student. So what have Mr. Cathcart and Ms. McCorkle done to help set up this mud run?
Well, Mr. Cathcart has just really been the kind of the real catalyst behind all of this. I mean, he's spent countless hours out here building the obstacles, making sure that they're safe, making sure that they're well constructed, and he's really the brains behind the operation. He's come up with a lot of the different obstacles, how they should be developed, how they should be designed. And needless to say, I mean, this course is really, his product more than anything else. Mrs. McCorkle has kind of been the spirit and drive behind the whole thing, and it's something that we believe in as a school. It's something that we believe in as teachers, and I certainly am very proud of the mud run and the fact that a lot of our students are involved with this, and it's teaching a lot of things that I talked about in terms of challenging themselves, being leaders, being able to communicate, and just all those things that are important to me as when kids graduate from our high school.
A thank you to Mr. Paragallo for joining us. Let's move into the slideshow, all the pictures and videos for the second annual mud run.
Down and do it.
on the MHS podcast with senior Mike Fusil, co-captain of the team from the A-Wave that won this year's mud run. How'd you guys do it? You blew away the competition on the rope climbs.
We were just really focused on each one. We were working together, and it helps that we really enjoyed it also, because I feel like that is what kind of pushed us over each obstacle. Like, we were all working together, we were all smiling, and we were just, the teamwork is what really got us through each obstacle.
Which obstacle do you think was the hardest?
Probably the rope climbs. That was definitely pretty hard. There was also the ones with the monkey bars that were, or not the monkey bars, what is that? The chain thing over there, that was pretty hard. And then the teamwork one where you have to pick the boards up and place them on the other boards, that one was hard too.
How do you think working together as a team has prepared you for the upcoming sports season?
Well, I feel like it helped, teach a good value of teamwork, because these obstacles are really challenging. So if we could get through these challenges, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get through any challenge we face during the season.
All right, thanks, Mike, and congrats. Here with senior Maya Stolarski. She's not muddy at all, but she still coached her team. What was it like watching your team and coaching them through each and every obstacle?
I think it was a pretty fun experience, especially since I kind of tried to help out the best I could standing on the side, and I kept up our morale throughout the whole event and really helped motivate us to push through.
So how did this event prepare you for the upcoming sports season?
Well, I think this event just teaches you to work with your grit and make sure that you can get through the toughest things and eventually succeed.
All right, Maya, thanks for joining us. Here with incoming sophomore Matt Chinchar, who just finished up his time in the mud run, one of the muddiest kids here. Matt, what was the toughest obstacle you had to go through today?
The obstacle course.
Now I got to ask you, how do you think that this event helped to get you ready for the fall sports season?
Teamwork. You just work with your team the whole time.
All right, Matt, thanks for joining us.
See ya, Eddie.
Finishing up here with our coverage of the mud run with the MHS Podcast Zone, Josh Hyman, who just participated. Josh, how was it? You're pretty muddy.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. It was a lot better than last year, I think, just because it was better organized, better obstacles. It was really fun to do. I'm glad that the whole team was working together. It was a lot of fun. We were all laughing. It was just a great, experience overall, I think.
Well, enjoyment is key, but I got to ask you, what was the toughest obstacle you had to deal with today?
Toughest obstacle, that would probably be one of the walls, just because of having to lift everyone up over and over again, and then I had to get over the wall myself because nobody could lift me up. The other thing was the hill over there where you had to drag the 40-pound bags up and down the hill a bunch of times. That was hard because it was really awkward to carry. They're 40-pound bags. You had to do it up a really muddy, slippery hill. Everyone was falling and all that. So that was pretty tough as well.
All right, Josh, it's great having you on the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
No problem, Eddie.
We hope you enjoyed the first MHS podcast of the school year. We'll be broadcasting the Metuchen-Manville football game in just a couple weeks, in addition to a show previewing fall sports, the marching band, all that. We hope you enjoyed, and remember, if you're a town business, we're looking for sponsors for the upcoming school year, so just let us know. Email us at mhspodcast@gmail.com. We hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time here. I'm Eddie Kalegi, and this is the MHS Podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School.